Hello and good morning, MYM Insiders. How's everybody doing today? This is Rich Harshaw. We're here for our Tuesday morning ad clinic, and we're going to have a little bit of a different type of a Tuesday morning ad clinic this morning. I have just one submission. However, the submitter is not actually on the call, so I'm just going to go through his materials and we're going to talk about it. This is a little bit different kind of a thing too, so I want to share with you something a little bit different. So let me go ahead and put this on the screen. Here's what we're going to talk about today. Excuse me. We're going to talk about this trailer. And we're going to wrap this trailer. And the question, quite simply, is, okay, here's my trailer. What can I wrap on it? And I don't know the exact dimensions of this. I might have it in my notes here. You know, it really doesn't matter what the dimensions are because it won't change the discussion. We've also got two trailers. We also got a minivan we've got to wrap. So let's see if I can pull those up. Okay, here's another trailer. I don't know if this is the same one or not. Got multiple pictures here. It looks like it might be close to the same. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 segments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one's a little bit shorter. And got a door on one side of one of these trailers. So there's that thing. So anyway, we won't get too bogged down on the details of the trailer other than to say we've got to wrap these and we've got to make some kind of a, we need to get some kind of a look and feel going. So the first thing we want to talk about is this. A couple of things. The first thing we want to talk about is the look and feel that we want. And then, of course, we need to talk about the content, okay? So let's talk about look and feel first, then we'll get into the content. So for the look and feel of this, a couple of things. Number one, we want it to be consistent with their other marketing. So when you go to their website, we see something that looks similar to what I've seen when I see this trailer. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. The other thing that I want to also take into account is I want it to stand out, okay? What I don't want is this. I'm looking at this trailer. Oh, whoops, that's the wrong thing. There was a picture of a trailer in the background of one of these other pictures. Let me pull that up if I can. Where'd that thing go? There it is. I'm going to open this so we can take a look. So you can see this one over here, seamless siding. They've got this one that's already wrapped. You know, I'm not a big fan of this kind of a wrapped look. You've got this man holding this girl up, and their house is in the background and the siding. Not a huge fan of that because, you know, it's not all that interesting to look at. Not that we want to have interesting vans and people are going to study them and all those kinds of things, but we want it to be at least something that catches attention and something that doesn't just fade into the background, okay? So that being said, one of the things that I like to do is make things bright colors. One of my clients is an air conditioning company, and their vans are all bright orange. They actually have box trucks. They do have some vans, but they mostly have box trucks. And they're all bright orange. It's their company color. They've got over 200 vans roaming around the streets, and it's a very likely scenario that people are noticing those things because they see them so often, and that bright orange color stands out. I told this story on a call. I don't remember what webinar it was a few weeks ago, but I was with this client. I was out there with him shooting some TV commercials, and I was with the owner of the company, and we stopped at a mini mart so that he could get some coffee, and he ran inside for a minute. And I was looking around at the parking lot while I was sitting in his car waiting. I was not in an orange box truck or van. I was just in his car. And I noticed it was an HVAC company, and I noticed a bunch of other vans. And I started noticing a couple in the parking lot. As we started driving, I started noticing a few more. And all of these vans were all just plain white vans. They weren't wrapped. They didn't have any kind of anything other than on the side it said, you know, XYZ air conditioning or whatnot. And I thought, wow, what a missed opportunity for all these companies. So I'm a huge fan of the wrap. We've got the trailers here. What we want to do, first of all, is make it so that it stands out. Now, what we want to do is take a look at their website so we can get a look for their a feel for their color scheme. Let me pull this up real quick. Let me see if I can find this. Okay, this is their current website, and then I'll show you as we get into this their other website. So let's take a look there. Okay, so we've got their gutters, we've got their logo, which is bright red, and of course we're redoing this website. This is not the final version. We're going to change this picture, but here's the identity. Oh, where'd that come from? Oh, there we go. Okay. I will treat your home as if it were my own. I will treat you as if you were my own family. No cutting corners, even in places you'll never notice. I stick to my quote. So this is getting into part 2, which is the content. And what we want to do there, of course, is go to the identity, right? Identity, see how that looks and feels. So I would probably start, hang on just one second. Whoops. I've got a note that I got to change this. Thanks, Rich. All right, there you go. Here's their original website. Sorry about that. And we're redoing it. And this is the picture of the owner, which we're going to change. I don't think it's a very good picture of him. But here's the identity. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and make this. Let's go ahead and make this truck. I'd like to make it probably bright red. Now that's a little bit controversial because we make it bright red, you know, it's probably a little bit different than they're used to seeing. So first thing I want to do is make it bright red. The second thing I want to do is I want to use their identity as we write this truck. Now here's the things we got to keep in mind. Number one, it's got to be short. This is a billboard, okay? The number of words for the headline should be somewhere between 2 to 7 words, okay? Now that's our typical number of words that we want on a billboard headline, 2 to 7. Generally, it's going to come somewhere in the neighborhood of about 4 or 5. And we also want to make sure that people see the phone number. We want to make sure that people see the web address. We want to make sure that people see the logo. So what I'm going to suggest is this. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and pull up Publisher, and I'll create a blank document. And we will create a box that will simulate the truck. Okay, this is going to be very crude and rude and very. It's not going to be beautiful. Let me put it to you this way. But let's go ahead and fill it with red so we can get a feel for it. Okay, and then let's go ahead and create a headline. Now, what we want to do is we want to use the headline in this entire portion up here. This is where our headline should go, up in this area right there on your screen. So what kind of headline can we use? Well, if we go back and we look at their identity, I will treat your home as if it were my own. I will treat you as if you were my own family. No cutting corners, even in places you'll never notice. I stick to my quote, you'll never pay a penny more. No high-pressure sales or fake buy it now discounts, and if problems ever pop up, no excuses. If I have to choose between profits and thrilled customers, I'll choose thrilled customers every single time. Okay, well, I like that. Pretty good. So let's see here. Let me pull something up just to remind myself here. What if we did this? First of all, I'm going to grab this logo. So that I can paste it. I don't like that version of it. I got a little line on the bottom I don't want. Let me try that one more time. Okay. And I'm going to paste that guy right down here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that thing about this big on there. I'm going to trim that just a touch. Now, our designers can make this look much better than I can. But let's put the logo right there. Now we've got this section up here for the headline still. Let's go ahead and put that headline in there. So let's insert a headline with the box, and we want this headline to simply say something to the effect of, well, what their identity is. So how about this? Treat you like family promise. Let's see how that looks. And let's make that white text. Okay, and then of course it needs to be much bigger. Make it bold. Treat you like family promise. If I go one bigger, it's probably going to be too big. I was right. Let's put it at about 52 for our screen size. That's still a little too big. See if we can coax it on there. There we go. Treat you like family promise. Now, we've got the Crumb logo, and again, that logo is going to look better when we have a designer put it on there, so it's not just crammed in there, crammed in there. Sorry about that bad joke. And then we want down here at the bottom, we want to take and we want to put their web address and stuff like that. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. What I meant to do is take that, pull it down there, and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, and I'm going to put their, let's see, what is their web address? crumbsidingandroofing.com. Okay, and then I'm going to put a dash here, but I really want a bullet point, but I don't know how to do it in here. And I'm going to put 555-234-1234. Okay, now I'm going to make all this a little bit smaller so that it fits. And I'm going to push it down. And I'm actually going to go back and look at my photo here because I do have some wheels to deal with here, right? So I can work these around the wheels. So maybe I can put the web address on this side, and I can put the phone number over here on this side. So let's account for that on our picture. Okay. So maybe I push this over so that it's over here. And maybe I just put this here. Okay. And then, of course, I've got this sort of wheel well that goes right there. Okay. And, of course, again, like I said, our designers can work this out so it fits better. Okay. So now what goes here? That's the next question, right? I don't know what that little box is. Let me get rid of that thing. Oh, that was my previous version of that. So let's come in here, and now let's give people an idea of what that promise is. Now, if you go back to our website, we've got these items right down here, okay? No cutting corners. I stick to my quote. Now, this is too much text. So what we want to do is we want to come in and make this text shorter. So we might put on here something like no cutting corners. Next, we might put ironclad quotes. No sales pressure. And on here we might put no excuses ever. Now it's probably too small, so we just go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. Let's see how this looks. Blow it up. Make these bold. And a little bit bigger still. Bigger still. We've got a little room here. Let's see if we can make it even a little bit bigger. All right. Let's see what happens if we make it even a tiny bit bigger. All right, I like that. Treat you like family, promise. No cutting corners, ironclad quotes, no sales pressure, no excuses ever. Probably move this logo over so it's a little bit more centered. You center these two things kind of like that. So now you've got two items that are roughly the same size that are centered, so that looks good from there. So here's what we've got. Treat you like family, promise, no cutting corners, ironclad quotes, no sales pressure, no excuses ever. CrumbSidingandRoofing.com, 555-234-1234. This is a pretty simple trailer, okay? So let's talk about what we could do on some additional pages. Let's go over here and let's insert a page. Okay, so you can see over here I've got my first page. But we've got some other parts of this trailer that we need to do, like this back part of the trailer, or let's see, these parts of the trailer. And this, if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of hard to tell at this angle, but I think these are sort of diagonally, like big triangles, like an inverted pyramid or a sideways pyramid. So we think, okay, well, what can we put on the sides here? Well, I'm not all that worried about this part of the truck because this is going to be pulled by something. It's not going to be as visible, but that's okay. We can still do something with it. Let me go over to this other picture. Let me get the one that I was really looking for. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. That one. There we go. Okay, this is the part that'll get a little bit of visibility. It's the back of the trailer. Okay, so I was in Las Vegas the other day, and I was looking at their trailers, not their trailers, but their billboard trucks. Some of them highly inappropriate, especially when you've got 4 sons with you, but most of them relatively benign. And I was a little bit surprised. Some of these trucks, I don't know if you've seen these things in Las Vegas. They're billboard trucks. I'm sure you've seen those before. So, of course, on two sides, you've got these big billboards. But a lot of them were very, very skinny. So the billboard was maybe 3 feet wide, and how many ever 10 feet tall and how many ever 20 feet long, but only about 2 or 3 feet wide, some of them. And there was no room for a message on the back. And I was looking at those thinking, there's a lot of people that can see these from the back that can't necessarily see them from the side, depending on where they are in traffic. Especially there in Las Vegas, you've got a ton of traffic on Las Vegas Boulevard on the Strip. And a lot of it is behind trucks. They can't really see the message on the side, but it's so backed up you could see it from the back. And I thought, what a wasted opportunity. They should have made these trucks at least 5 feet wide so that there was enough room to put some kind of a message on there. So we do want to put some kind of a message on here. We don't have as much room. We certainly can't say this, that the tendency or the temptation is to just put the logo, but I don't want to just put the logo necessarily. I think there was something interesting I saw over here on the website. Where was that? Right here. If I have to choose between profits and thrilled customers, I'll choose thrilled customers every single time. You come over here, and let's pull up our picture again. Let's see, where's that thing? Okay. I don't have a straight shot of the back of it. Well, let's do this. This will be fun. Let's just take this truck and let's put it right over there on this page, and let's see what happens. Where'd that thing go? Here it is, page 2. And what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. No, this isn't really going to work. I was hoping that would work. I'm going to move this over so I can at least see it. Let me recreate the back of this real quick. What we're going to have is a box that's about that shape, and again, so we got 2 sides to this. And we've got to be conscious of this middle line, right? Because it's there and it's real, and you can see it on the screen here. Okay, so what if we went over there to the website again, and we copied this? I think this would be interesting. And let's paste that. There's my text box. Okay, now we got to be careful of this middle section, and I'm going to move this over a little bit to show a little bit of a gap that exists. You see that right here. If I have to choose between profits, well, here's what I'm going to do. This isn't going to work. So what if we did this? What if I stuck all of this on one side of the door? If I have to choose between profits and thrilled customers, make this a tiny bit smaller. If I have to choose between profits okay. Now, what I can do is this. First of all, I need to fill this thing red, and I need to make this white. I need to make it bold. All right, now, if we look over here, we see up here at the top, we've got some things to deal with. We've got this black little thing, and we got over here the logo. So we need to move this whole thing down a little bit. Okay, we've got, let's see, not trying to be too technical on you here, but hey, it's there, so let's put it there. There's that black thing. See, that's that thing right there. And then I won't change the color or the shape, but we have another similar thing over here that's a logo. And then we've got a hinge. Maybe we'll just start right below the hinge. Okay, if I have to choose between profits, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to experiment with making this profits a little bit bigger. If I can't make it that much bigger, because I want thrilled customers to be the same size. So we'll make that 28, make that 28, 26, 28. See what happens if I get rid of that comma. Make that italics. And let's make this a different color. Let's make it gold. Now, at the bottom here, I've got this other hinge to deal with. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this stuff all a little bit bigger. I don't know why I can't get this to go in. There we go. All right, I will make this. Whoops. If I have to choose between profits, now what we'll do is we'll make this a quotation mark. If If I have to choose between profits and thrilled customers, I'll choose thrilled customers every single time. Now let's do this. Let's take a look at what it looks like if it's centered. If I have to choose between profits and thrilled customers, I'll choose thrilled customers every single time. Now, this would necessitate us getting rid of all these extra spaces. All right, every single time. I'm not liking it so much there. We did this every single time. That might look cool with the periods after each one to make it a little more emphasized. So there's something we can do there. Let's go ahead and make this one red. I don't really like that time going on the next line. Might fix that a little bit. All right, let's make this one red. Now we got something we can put over here. Let's go back over here and grab our logo. And let's paste our logo. We need to make it smaller, of course. We'll put that up here. Now what we might want to do down here is put the guy's name. What's his name? Mike Crum. Can't see it. All right. Now let's go a little bit smaller with this. Put that on the bottom line there. Looks like I'm missing something. I don't know where it went. All right, and then we'll put the phone number and stuff over here, okay? If I have to choose between profits and thrilled customers, I'll choose thrilled customers every single time. It's just a nice little thing you can put there. Now, here, let's do this. Let's go and put something on, let's see, insert duplicate page. All right, this is something we could do on the other side. Treat you like family. Then we can come in here and say, not just a cute phrase. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this Crum logo a little bit smaller so I can have a little bit more room here. Treat you like family. Treat you like family. And I'm going to center this thing. Not just a cute phrase or slogan. I might come in here and say something like this. It's, well, what can we say? Let me find something I could say it like. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's see. It's, All right, so we could say something else sort of like this. Treat you like family. It's not just a cute phrase or slogan. It's our uncompromising passion and unrelenting mission. Now, I want you to realize what we're doing here. We're going back to the first two things I said at the very beginning of the call. Number one, we want it to stand out. We want it to be easy to see. We make this trailer red so that it pops. We want it to be the same color red as their website, so we need to make sure we match those colors just right. I just sort of picked one quickly off of the palette in Microsoft Publisher. And then we want to make sure that it's based on their identity. Okay, treat you like family. It's not just a cute phrase or slogan. It's our uncompromising passion and unrelenting mission. Crum Siding and Roofing. Yeah, we've got a, is it Crum Siding and Roofing or Crum Siding and Windows? We've got a disconnect with the web address and the company name. But regardless, we need to probably work on that and solve that a little bit. So here's what we've got for the back. If I have to choose between profits and thrilled customers, I'll choose thrilled customers every single time. Mike Crum owner, and then we'll put the phone number and such here next to that. On one side of the truck, treat you like family promise, no cutting corners, ironclad quotes, no sales pressure, no excuses ever, Crum Siding and Windows. And then on the other side, treat you like family, not just a cute slogan or phrase, cute phrase or slogan. It's our uncompromising passion, unrelenting mission, something like that. So we're just trying to get close to our identity. This is what we do. We start with the identity, and then we inject it into everything that we do. So this is stuff that our graphic designer can make look cooler. We can work around some of the obstacles that are on the van itself, but this is a general idea of what we're trying to accomplish. And sometimes it's helpful to just get this stuff out and sketch it. Normally, if I was doing this just by myself, but not on a webinar like this, I'd just sketch it out by hand so that I could play with it. I could erase it. I always use a pencil so I could see what fits and what doesn't fit and how the letter sizes need to look. And I'd go to my designer and say, look, we need to, you know, have this look a certain way, and we'd get the right fonts and so forth. But yeah, this is really consistent with the website. When somebody sees this and they go to the website, they're going to see the same message again, and it's going to be a good win. So this is what I would recommend, and this is how I would do it, and that's kind of it. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in. And if you don't have any questions, then I think we'll be done for today. Let me see if I have any questions that are popping up here. Okay, we don't see it. I got that. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Sorry about that earlier. Okay, I don't see any additional questions since we got started. So I guess we'll be done. Do I recommend photos was a question that came up. I don't mind photos. The problem with photos is this, and it's a good question. You'll notice on most of the websites that we create, we do create photos. In fact, I'm going to recommend as we go back and do this website, aside from getting rid of this picture, which I think is terrible, of this guy, you know, we almost always use the slider versions of these things. Let me see if I can find one with a slider. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to have a slider or not. I haven't seen it yet, but most of them do. Yeah. Okay, so we put this slider here at the top. This one doesn't have any pictures because it's just a mock-up. But I like to put the pictures there. Now, I'm talking about a website, and you're talking about a truck. I understand that. Okay, there we go. I like the pictures because it helps people to get a feel that, hey, we've got impressive, big, beautiful things. But the reality is, on a truck like this, we only have a very limited amount of space, really limited amount of space. And so it's kind of hard to put it in there. Now, let me tell you something else I'm not a fan of at all. I'm not a fan of the text that goes over the picture of a photo. So sometimes in a situation like this, people will get a little bit greedy and they'll say, well, we'll just put the photo in the background and we'll put the text over the top of it. Now, on occasion, you can get away with that if the picture is structured in just such a way that the text is only going over solid color background, like maybe the sky in a picture. So you've got a picture and the sky is blue and it extends up for a little while. you've got some headlines up there, and then you've got a photo below it. But if you're simply putting text over the top of a photo, it really gets hard to see and figure out. So I wouldn't do that. I'm not suggesting, John, that was your question, but just giving you some tips here. If you can put some photos in there somewhere, you know, I don't have a big problem with it, but I'm more concerned about making sure that I communicate something identity-based. And you'll notice again here, right, we don't have a lot of room. Could you put a photo over here? I guess you probably could, but what are you going to put a picture of? A window? I guess you could put a picture of a window. If I put a picture of a window over here, I probably wouldn't make it a photo of a window. I'd probably make it a line drawing of a window so that people have a quick association. Hey, look, it's a window. That would be okay. When I say line drawing, I think you understand what I mean, right? Okay, so something that looks kind of like, well, that's an interesting picture. You know, something like this, relatively speaking, but maybe that has, you know, window frames in it and stuff, okay? So, yeah. Do you have any photos of trucks that you've designed? You know, I probably do, and I know I do, but I'd have to look for them. I don't have any right off the top of my head. The ones that I talked about earlier, I didn't design the orange ones, but they're just orange trucks. And they just have the company logo on the side, and they're not particularly identity-based. But this is a little bit different situation. You know, they've got hundreds of trucks out on the road. They're bright orange, and they do their job. But one thing that they do well on those, besides just being bright orange and all over the road, is on the back of them, they've got an interesting photo. And the photo is a blow-up photo of a guy standing in the back of the truck. So it looks like the truck is open, and you see inside the truck, you see the contents of the truck. And remember, this is a photo, and there's a guy standing on the edge of the truck. So whenever they see these trucks, it looks like, and the photo is one of the owners. People won't necessarily know that when they see this, but they see the guy on the back of the truck, and it's got great interrupt value because you're driving around on the back of this truck. It looks like the truck is open. You can see the contents of the truck, and there's a guy standing on it. And that's a pretty clever way to get people to take a look. But that's a box truck that would suit itself better to that kind of a thing than this, what you're looking at on your screen right now, where it wouldn't really work because of the space restrictions of these doors. But I do like that. But yeah, the trucks that we create generally always have headlines. We want people to read and see and understand. If you can put some interesting photos on there, if you've got some room, work with the designer, you could certainly do that. Again, not a big fan of the happy man holding up his daughter because they're so thrilled. But you know, if you wanted to put something like that in there, I probably wouldn't scold you and hit your knuckles with the ruler. Here's what I want to do. I want to communicate with words. Words. People read. They're not stupid. They can read that. And when they see this, it's going to convey a certain kind of look and feel and feeling into them. And that's what we're trying to accomplish with these words. Okay? So a lot of this comes down to the graphic design. I don't want you to look at what's on this screen right now and say that's the graphic design. It's not. This is just a very quick mock-up that I did in Microsoft Publisher. A skilled graphic designer is going to make this look 100 times better just because it's going to lay out and design and look and feel nicer than this. But yeah, that's kind of it. See, I think I got one more question here. Nope, I do not have another question. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks so much for your time. That's all we have for today, and I will be actually back on in 30 minutes. We're going to have an Insiders Open Forum. I don't have any submissions for that today either, so if you've got any submissions, anything you'd like to talk about, we'll get on there, and I'll talk about anything that you want to talk about, so bring your questions. If you don't have any questions, then we'll have a very short call. So I'll talk to you in 30 minutes. See you. Bye now.